So I'm Chris Eggington from Crop Angel. We've been, I suppose Crop Angel started in 2016, so it's been nearly 10 years. The problem at the moment is the legislation, because it's very difficult to spray from a drone because drones are treated as aircraft and you can't spray from an aircraft. But we at the moment sell the DJI drones. This is a T30, and this has been actually adapted. It's not in its normal format. Here, these arms here have been lifted up, and also these have been turned round. So in its normal format, this goes backwards and forwards, and when it's flying forwards, the back nozzles are working and the side nozzles, and the front nozzles aren't. And then it turns round and it goes backwards. And when it goes backwards, these become the back because they're the front, and then they spray, the other ones spray. But this has been adapted. These have been altered and turned round, and now this is for orchards and vineyards, and it actually sprays sideways. And the software's told it to spray sideways. Okay, so this is one that carries 30 litres, and if it has a spinning disc in, then it can carry 40 kilos. And if we move across to the one the other side, that's a bigger one. So this one's a bigger version. This is the T50. This is the biggest one they do at the moment, but we think there are going to be bigger ones coming out. So this one has a capacity to spray 40 litres or 50 kilograms of product, and that is something like seeds or pellets. And these are being sold and used quite a lot by farmers and contractors at the moment to put in cover crops for SFI. Catch crops and companion crops, because they can be spread into a standing crop, and of course the drone's ideal for that. The other thing about this one, unique to the one we've just seen it, this has these spinning discs allow us to control the different droplet size actually as it's flying. So whereas the other ones you would have to either increase the volume to get a higher pressure, with these ones, the volume can stay the same, and what happens is the spinning disc goes faster. So if it's spinning really fast, then the size is 50 microns. If it's spinning a lot slower, it can go up to 500 microns. And then the difference is that when you're spraying, you really want to spray something which has got the smallest, or the smallest nozzle, the smallest droplets is ideal. But of course, if it's windy, you don't want small droplets because they drift too much. So it's a combination. So this is what we use to fly this particular one, and we will be flying this later on. So if you're about, you'll see us flying this this afternoon. And basically, this has all the information stored in it, and this will have all random fields in, or a load of fields that we've already done. So if we've done a field, we can go back to that field, and we may want to spray it in a different angle, or we may want to spray at a different height or a different pressure or whatever. We can change all of that before we fly, but it knows the boundary, it knows what it's doing, and then once it's loaded in, you swipe it, it takes off, and it does it all autonomously. When it's empty, the tank is low or empty, it will fly back autonomously as long as you told it that's what it's do. If you've told it to just stop and hover, that's exactly what it'll do until you take control, and then you can fly it back. You fly it back, bring it back, fill it up, put a new battery in, off it goes. And it's even cleverer than that, because it doesn't necessarily go back to where it finished, because that's where it would normally go back and orientate itself and carry on. It's even cleverer that it says, oh, that's a long way away. What I'll do is I'll do a couple of strips just here, get my weight down, then I'll go over there, because I'm flying over there with half the weight, using half the battery power, and it's a much better use of my time. Everyone asks that question, and it's sort of irrelevant, because if it was empty, it's probably 18 minutes. If it's full, it's probably less than 8 minutes. In reality, it's somewhere between the two, because as soon as you get up, you start spraying and it gets lighter, it goes further. But realistically, if you've got things organized, I mean, most of what we would be doing, we finish the job within 5 minutes. so the battery isn't normally the issue. If you are spraying at a very low rate, and therefore you've got to travel a lot of area, then of course the battery may run out before the spray is gone. But if you're spraying at a high rate, then it's the case you might even be able to do 2 runs with the same battery. It's a combination. But again, most of that is in the planning. And if you want to plan something, you want to try and plan it so that your drone is close to you where you're filling it again when it's getting empty. And that way, it's the best use of the drone, it's the best use of the batteries, it's the best use of your charging facility, because the battery comes back with more charging, and therefore it takes less time to recharge it. Generally speaking, if there's an issue, it's the charging time rather than the battery. The ones behind, the bigger ones here with the spinning disc and the distributor, really for putting cover crops in, because you can't spray much. The other one would be specific for orchards or vineyards.